Hello and welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries. A little more work's been done this time on the pickup for the electronic ignition. Now you may remember from earlier videos that this is the plate with the two magnets on that go past a pole around a coil that picks up for the electronic ignition, and that magnet needs to pass with about a millimetre clearance of the pole of the pickup, which, if you imagine this pencil is the pole of the pickup, would sit inside the engine case about there. So it comes through a hole in the timing cover and is attached to the outside of the timing cover and rests about there. And as this whole sleeve drive crank goes round, the two magnets go past the pickup, energise the coil, and that fires the electronic ignition. So what I've had to do is I've had to make a little groove all the way around here. I got my Chief Shed Fairy on with that job so that I get the full depth of the magnet. The magnet sits in a groove, and the magnet, you couldn't get right to the bottom of the magnet beforehand with the post. So we've had to make that groove there so you can get the full depth of the magnet. And we're looking for about a millimetre clearance to above the base of the plate and about a millimetre clearance to the pole of the magnet. That's what we need. Now that needs to be put into the timing case, which is on here. How do you drill this in exactly the right spot so that you come within a millimetre of the two magnets on here? And the answer to that is you do it the other way around. You make a mandrel. So this is the mandrel that the Shed Fairies were on, and the way that it works is that the timing disc, the pickup with the magnets on, it's typical, I can't get it off now. Oh, there you go. That fits over the mandrel like that. The bearing fits over the mandrel like that. There's a hole in here which is 1 millimetre away from the shoulder of the groove. That hole is the diameter of the pickup, and that's quite easy to mark and to drill. So that was drilled through there, and this whole assembly was put into the timing case. The bearing was engaged, and we drilled through from this side, from inside the timing case to outside of the timing case, and that gave us the right absolute location for that pin. Having done that, is then a case of making a bit of clearance around the radius for the pickup. That's the pin that's come through, and we know for a fact now that that will be within a millimetre of the magnet. And the pickup for it here's the coil. Now that we've cleaned up around the outside of there, that will drop in onto there, and quite nicely that's the final position. So that's where the electronic ignition pickup will be. That's the timing side of the engine. The engine's tilt forwards. That's the right hand side of the engine as it's in the bike, tilted slightly forward. It's tucked out of there nice and neatly out of the way. We just need to devise a little strap or something just to keep that from falling out. But it's quite tight. It's not just going to fall out by itself, and it should be fairly oil tight as well. If not, we'll put an O-ring underneath it before we clamp it down with just some kind of spring strap. But that's a job for much later on. So quite pleased with that. That's another jobbed, and that means the timing case is completely finished and ready for assembly. Next job is back in the other shed to do the clearance for the sleeve itself, as per the previous video even. As usual, thanks for watching. More to follow.